Good morning, Morgan County. Woohoo! It's time for our Positive podcast from the Morgan County Partnership with our hosts. I'm Mrs. Hott, the Positive Actions and Digital Media Facilitator. Today's podcast is called When Freedom Sings Diversity.
Hi, hola, es hora de acción positiva. Hi community, I am Mrs. Sheima, Morgan County Partnership, Positive Actions and Digital Media Facilitator.
The Morgan County Partnership joins you weekly for an exciting look at positive programs, news, and features to help build empathy, foster core values, health, and family wellness in our homes, community, and around the world.
Whether you're 2 or 92, each new Partnership Positive podcast we will feature fun and exciting information to help you manage and balance life here in Morgan County to West Virginia and beyond.
And beyond. We are ready this week, neighbors. We're going to discover a new positive core value. Oh, and it's so important for these days. It's a beautiful word. Each week we have a new positive value that helps us build a network of neighbors that work together for the community, helping each other to get through another day with resources to connect each other and to meet our basic needs. Here we go. Ready?
Let's get started.
All right. Today's positive podcast, When Freedom Sings Diversity. And neighbors, today is a really special podcast. Thanks for joining us and listening here on SoundCloud, or if you want to meet us on the YouTube channel, we're also on the Positive Action YouTube channel too with the same program. And I'm really excited for y'all to see our guest today.
Yes, we're gonna take a look at our new value word for this week. As we study a new core value every week, and we're celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on January 18, today we talk about diversity.
That's right, Miss Sheima. You know, guys, it's impossible to meet and talk today and have a chat and not ignore all that's been happening around us, isn't it? I'm sort of struggling with this. From a worldwide pandemic spiraling out of control and just beginning to be harnessed with science and vaccines, and then to the shaking of the foundations of our democracy last week at the Capitol, we can't ignore now more than ever the importance of recognizing this holiday we celebrate in January, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And it comes so close to the beginning for the United States with the inauguration coming up of Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and President-elect Joe Biden. This is a big week, isn't it, guys? And we've been talking about role models, and today we're going to talk about diversity and what we value within each other, what we value about our neighbors, right, Miss Sheima?
Yes, there are some amazing role models we look to with hope. How exciting for little girls and all people of color to see Vice President-elect Harris take office.
I know. I'm so excited about that. And today, neighbors, I'm tickled to share a role model from our community with you. We have a role model joining us today, and she is something special.
We do? Tell us more. Remember, a role model is someone whose example is looked to and emulated or desired to follow their positive actions.
That's right, neighbors. We're excited to meet someone I've known since she was a little girl, right? From Berkeley Springs High School, the graduation class of 2017. Joining us today, we have Miss Stephanie Golden. Stephanie, welcome to the Positive Podcast. Hi, Stephanie. Say hello.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk to you guys.
Oh, this is fun. I haven't seen you in forever. Oh my gosh. Well, actually we haven't seen hardly anyone in forever, for real, just virtually, right? But it is good to have you here. I'm so glad you joined us. Now, neighbors, Miss Stephanie, over the holidays, she sent me a message and said, oh, guess what? I have this book and I want to share it. And we're going to talk about her book soon. The book is called Beautiful. Okay, but before we take a look at that book, and students in Morgan County and across West Virginia, you'll get to see Stephanie read to us later in January. But before we ask her to give us a sample, we want to ask you some questions, Stephanie. You have some time?
Definitely.
Awesome. Cool. Let's get started. So, we've been talking about role models with positive actions and people that we look up to. And I'm sort of excited for you to be here because I know your mom was a teacher and you have a brother in high school. And in the community, Morgan County, more than likely people remember you from high school too. Tell us, what do you feel a role model is, and how do you what do you do to try to be a positive role model to others?
Yeah, so to me, a role model is anybody that I look up to, and like the word we talked about previously, it's somebody that I try to emulate in my own life. So for me, like somebody in my life that is a role model would be my mom or like my grandmother. Like I try to emulate like their behaviors, and like they've taught me about the type of woman that I want to be like as I get older. And for me, I try to be a role model just by demonstrating positive characteristics, treating other people with kindness, showing empathy to others, and by promoting positive body image for young women.
Oh, and I want to talk about that some more. That's interesting. Positive body image. I got to tell you guys, I'm feeling kind of emotional today. There's a lot going on. But Stephanie, you just said something, and I'm going to sidetrack here a little bit. You said a positive role models for people who have positive character. And, as we celebrate Martin Luther King and his famous speech, I Had a Dream, he said something in that speech that I'll never forget. And the speech actually was 67 years ago, but Martin Luther King said this: "Do not judge by the color of our skin. Instead, see outside, judge by the content of our character." Isn't that something? The content of our character, our values, what's inside, and how we value what's important, and the actions, how we think, and how people see us behave, and then how we feel about that. So our character, and like you said, things like kindness and empathy and all that, that's so important right now, isn't it?
Definitely.
Well, tell us, what have you been up to? We'll talk some more about this, but tell us what you've been doing. I can see you're home on college break, so fill us in. Since graduation, what are your goals? What are your dreams?
Yeah, so I just finished the fall semester of my junior year at WVU. So
go Mountaineers!
So I'm actually going to be graduating a semester early. So as of right now, I'm officially a senior at WVU.
Wow.
So I am a double major in international studies and political science, and I'm minoring in Arabic. Wow. So it's definitely been challenging, but I'm really excited. And last November 2019, I competed in Miss Morgantown. It's a preliminary pageant in the Miss America system. It was super out of my comfort zone because I've never really done something like that before, but I really wanted to challenge myself, and I saw the pageant as an opportunity to promote something that, like, I've always worked on promoting positive body image just like in day-to-day life, but in doing the pageant and having like that platform, I thought I could create more awareness for the cause. And I now will be competing in Miss West Virginia this coming June.
Wow.
It's really exciting. So I've been doing a lot of work with that and just promoting my social impact initiative, and having a longer break from school has given me a chance to really like put out a lot of content and work on that.
What do you mean by content for what did you call it again? Positive body image? Is that right, Stephanie? What do you mean by, tell us more. You said you're putting out content. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so like the official name of my initiative is Starving for Change, Building Beautiful Minds Through Positive Body Image. So by content, I mean, so I have an Instagram page. It's at Miss_University_City, where I post updates. I also have a YouTube channel where I'm posting videos related to positive body image. And I also recently started a group called Body Image 101. And it is a group of women that I lead every week. And we talk about different topics on how to reduce negative self-talk and to love ourselves better.
Wow. You're busy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have been busy.
Wow. So then a lot of the things for your platform, you're creating content that gets shared about people basically loving themselves, what's unique about them, and taking care of that and respecting what they have, rather than, wishing they had something different than what they have. And how to, you said something interesting about self-talk. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. So that was actually the topic for the first session of the group I lead.
Oh, really?
It was negative self-talk. So basically negative self-talk is it's just anything like that's hindering your ability to believe in yourself, or it's reducing the confidence that you have in yourself to do things. And in my opinion, negative self-talk is the root of poor body image. So to me, I'm trying to educate people on how to reduce or eliminate the negative self-talk so that they have better body image overall, and it prevents harmful behaviors as a result.
Gotcha. So what do you give as an example of a positive body image? I mean, what do you base that off of? What sort of goals? What makes a positive body image? How do you decipher that, like, to keep people, because I could see, and I'll ask you this. I'm 5 feet tall and I gave up on my white hair, and but I've never been unhappy, but what if I was? And then I can never be any taller than 5 feet tall. So how do you help people accept what their uniqueness and celebrate that? Because you know what? There's this word diversity, and sometimes we only look what's on the outside and we see what's beautiful just by what we see, right? Without saying, hold on, there's more to that. So how do you communicate that in order to get people to be happy? Because I see it's so dangerous, especially like teenagers and in high school. I know it's been a long time since I was a teenager, and Sheima, it's been a while for you too. But when you're a teen, I know I was like, I hated my freckles. I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm just horrible in high school with freckles. And the other thing that happened was I was from West Virginia, and and I was missing a front tooth as a teenager. Could you imagine? I was a mess. But, at the time I got through it. So, but I did that. I did exactly what you're saying, Stephanie. I judged myself, my body image, because I felt not beautiful. So what do you do? How do you help get through that? That's hard.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a really hard topic to navigate and to convey to other people, because when it comes down to it, body image it's a personal struggle, like, for each individual, and it looks different for everybody. But the main way that I approach it when I try to encourage or like educate the girls that I'm leading right now is, one, I try to share like my personal experience with it, because I think that makes them feel more comfortable. And two, I try to just use facts and statistics. I actually did a video on this recently, and that's my next session I'm leading is actually going to be about social media. So basically what I talk about in that video is that the ideal body is it's statistically impossible. It's not fathomable, like, for the everyday person. And I talk about how social media can be really dangerous, like, for young women, just because of what they're seeing constantly. It's with social media, like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat especially, everything is so image-based. And especially with COVID, being on your phone and your computer more, and like scrolling on your feed more and more, you're constantly sitting there and comparing yourself to other people. So I think the main thing is to remind people that the people that you're seeing on your social media feeds, that's not what a normal person looks like. And there's not like one specific way that someone has to look. And it's important to remind people that they're seeing edited photos and that they're seeing models. They're not looking at ordinary people. So that's the way that I try to approach it when I talk to them.
And what do you think about this? Because you're absolutely right. Social media makes it really hard. Like, had I had a phone in the 70s in high school, in the 80s, oh my gosh, I would really have been comparing myself. But I think it's important to realize too what people see on these phones. The people that look like that, they also have the means, they have the finances, the money to take classes, to buy expensive makeup and stuff like that. And, I remember my mom is like, you can't wear makeup. It's not in the Bible. I had that whole struggle in high school. It was real. And even today you look, it's like, oh my gosh, who can afford to look like that? And now, you know what, Stephanie? I mean, in the classroom, Sheima and I, when we went before COVID, little girls like 8 years old, they struggle with this at 8. Now, when you were 8 years old, I mean, you guys were making skits in the basement and singing and dancing, and it was different being 8, and you're about to be 21, right? And now when you're 8, you've got this phone, and look what oh, Sheima, don't give Ithaca a phone. Ithaca has a 2-year-old, Stephanie. She is adorable, but it's so hard. And especially, we're in a rural area, and our community, Morgan County, I mean, look at it. It's largely homogenous. There's not a lot of diversity. There's not a lot of wealth, and kids compare. And I'll never forget how my heart was broken when we talked about the word diversity, and a little girl who had hair much like mine when I was 8 years old. It was frizzy and out of control. She said to me, I got picked on the bus because of my hair. She cut her hair real short. My mom used to do that too, so it wouldn't be frizzy. And she was African American. And it's just like you're beautiful just like you are, but look what she sees. So what you're doing is being a role model, Stephanie. I mean, giving kids in the community a tool that they can, not judge themselves by what they're seeing on here. And when they're feeling negative, how to have that positive self-image. Now, little girls, all right, neighbors, little girls, no matter what is on the inside and the outside, it's fun to pretend you're a princess, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? I know, right? I remember my daughter, Katie, she'll be 31 in just a couple days. And I still have her costumes when she would pretend to be a princess. And then the cousins would come over, and the three of them, they'd run around the house and, dress up like this. And then when Violet, who's Stephanie's age, her cousins, they'd all wear the same costumes. And then after that, I had boys. But, Levi, he liked to dress up like Elmo. And Isaac, for some reason, when Isaac was 5, he wanted to dress up like Simon Cowell. I don't know about that, but it's a dream. It's a dream. And what I really respect that I see you doing, Stephanie, is taking like Miss West Virginia and saying, how can I really help with this dream? I mean, we're talking about Martin Luther King. I have a dream that all men, black or white, children would someday hold the hands with their white brothers and sisters, with black brothers and sisters. And I feel like, here in Morgan County, it's my dream that, we take a look at each other and not judge by what we see. And when we're struggling, we have a Stephanie Golden with her platform, who's when you're feeling negative, has something that can help us feel more positive about our body image. Now, I had a thought. I sort of got sidetracked. Sorry, guys. I want to see, can you share with our neighbors, like your Miss West Virginia stuff? Yeah, show us. Okay, neighbors, ready? Take a look at this. I actually saw this on, I think your mom shared it, Stephanie. You were up at Morgantown with a picture like outside at a table, and you had your fancy crown and things like that. So let's look. Can you show us?
Yeah.
Okay.
So hang on, let me get okay, this is my sash. So Miss University City. Hang on, I can put it on.
Yay. Now I remember in high school you did a what was that called? That pageant. Remember
Miss
going
Morgan County.
Yeah. Did that help prepare you for this in any way?
Definitely, like I did a little bit. That it was definitely a lot more informal than the one that I had to do in Morgantown. Yeah. And then this is my crown.
Wow.
I love it. So yeah, there's my crown.
Oh, it's so
you look fabulous. Love it.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You know what I feel like? It's like there's a princess inside of everyone, right? You know, and we overcome, we accept, we make beautiful what we have. And what's that song that Miss Jenny sings? Can you remember it, Stephanie? I'll have to find it. Something about taking what we have and making it beautiful. Oh, what do you know the song? We sang it in Bible school all the time. Anyway,
I know the song you're talking about. I just don't remember the name.
Can you sing it? You remember the verse? Oh, Sheima, she sings too. Wow. Yeah, look at it. Oh well. Anyway. Oh, that's cool. Thanks for showing us that. You know, in somewhere here in Morgan County in West Virginia, some little girl, you know what? It can happen to you. Look at Stephanie. She's competing for Miss West Virginia. And I feel like there are little girls that look at Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Look what happened to her. She was a little girl like Stephanie one day, 8 years old, you know, doing something at a friend's house, went to college, and now she's going to be vice president. You know, little girls. Look at our role models, and from my heart, you know, we got to look past what we see, and because a lot of times what you see, you don't know what struggle got you there. I know, Stephanie, you've had some struggles, right, girl? And look where you're headed. You're taking the pain and you're making it beautiful. Yeah. Tell us a little bit more, Stephanie. How would you, I have to think, I know I have a whole list of questions and I have no idea where I am. Let me see. You're advocating for body image, and how if you could talk to your 8-year-old self, okay, what would you tell Stephanie at 8 years old?
Is it okay if I edit your question a little bit?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So when I was little, I actually miss, I kind of miss, the naivety of, being a little girl. You know what I mean? Where you don't have, you're not worried about it. Whenever I was a little girl, I wasn't concerned about, my appearance or, my weight or, anything. I just was thinking about having fun. I think if I could go back, though, and talk to myself, when I was younger, it would probably be when I was 15 or 16, when I was in high school. And I can talk a little bit about my experience and what led me to this social impact that I've chosen. Okay. So in high school, I was, as you know, I ran with Violet. So all of middle and high school, I was a cross country and track athlete. And in high school, I had a lot of success with that early on. I had 2 state championships in track my freshman year. And then in 10th grade, I was the runner-up in cross country. And I remember my sophomore year of high school, I kind of hid it from everyone, but I was having a really hard time in cross country because I had tendinitis in my hips really badly, so I was in a lot of pain. So after the season, I went to physical therapy, and they basically said, you can't run the entire off season. You have to just do physical therapy. And at the time, running was my entire life. That was what I put my identity in, and I based my worth off of success in that. So that was a really hard pill to swallow. And I remember I wasn't exercising as much because I wasn't allowed to. So I gained a little bit of weight over that winter. And that's really when my own personal body image struggles started. I was scared to weigh myself, and I remember I finally did, and my mom was there, and I just started crying because I had gained weight, and the first thought that I had was, oh no, like my times aren't going to be fast enough. Like I'm not going to be successful in this sport, because at the time my number one goal was to run in college at a D1 school. So I went on a diet and it was fine at first, but then I got obsessed with it and I just got addicted to just like watching myself like drop weight. And it got to the point where I just like was not nourishing my body. And I was running so far, and I was avoiding social gatherings because of food anxiety. And I just had really bad self-image, like overall. Like no matter like how skinny I was, I would look in the mirror and I still felt like I was overweight, or like I wasn't pretty, or like I wasn't good enough. And that was really hard. And I was never really like the same as an athlete after that, because I honestly, like, I really harmed my body, and it took me years to overcome that. And thankfully, like, I am doing a lot better with it now. And I wouldn't wish that experience on anybody, but it's kind of a blessing in disguise, because I'm trying to take my own like experience and help other girls not go through it and educate them based on what I went through.
That's a gift. You know that, Stephanie? Taking the pain and making it something beautiful. Right. Wow. Well, listen up, neighbors. You know what? You might be struggling with something, and hearing Stephanie might make you realize, hey, I can get, we all need to hear about our pain to help us get through what's going on. Wow. And you said the word beautiful. You picked that book to read for us on Talk It Out Tuesdays when we talk about race and diversity on PAWsitiveValuesNetwork.com. We have a few more minutes, and I really will you read a little bit for us with your crown and just to give us like, what's your favorite part? Yeah. I haven't read this book, but Sheima, wait till you see the cover. It looks really
I can
neat.
Hang on, I gotta clip this on my head.
Okay.
It doesn't fall. But yeah, this book is great, and it's perfect for talking about diversity, actually. I can show you like the cover, but you can see like on the cover, there's lots of diversity, like all of the little girls that they're showing.
Beautiful.
So let me see.
Yeah, give us an excerpt. All right, neighbors, are you ready? Stephanie Golden, Miss University Princess, running for Miss West Virginia. And after that, guys, it's the Miss America pageant, by the way. And she's talked to us today about her platform on positive body image. And she's going to share with us now an excerpt from the book Beautiful, which on PAWsitiveValuesNetwork.com, the students will hear on January 26th, actually, the rest of the book. So go ahead, Steph.
All right, and then I'll show you like the pictures to go with it, just because they're kind of important. So this is one of my favorite pages. It says, "Beautiful girls know all about makeup," but then it shows you have the girls just playing pretend, and they're pirates.
Oh, wow.
And then we have beautiful girls have a smart style. So we have some scientists.
Oh, here. Bugs, look at that.
And then we have beautiful girls smile sweetly.
Nice. Love it. Love it.
and keep their hair properly in place.
Wow, look at their hair.
That's fun. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite pages, and I'm really excited to share the entire thing with you guys.
Me too. And we'll get to see the book, and we might have to order that too to have in our kindness collection here at Positive Actions. Thanks, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
Well, this has been fun. So much fun. Miss Sheima, we'll get ready and close. Can you think of any questions I might have missed? Or Stephanie, is there anything you want to say before we go?
I don't think so.
You did awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. and talking about your past and what's inspired you to advocate for body image and positive body image. That's beautiful. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you for having me.
Oh, I've enjoyed it. So this is exciting. Look forward to hearing more with Stephanie Reed Beautiful on the Positive Action Daily Community Time coming up. And we've been talking about diverse and neighbors. That's what we want you to do. Look for the diversity in your neighborhood and in your community and celebrate that, you know. And like Dr. Martin Luther King said, let's not judge by what we see. Okay, guys? Instead, let's look at the content of their character. You know, their kindness, their empathy, their ability to be truthful and trustworthy. Let's look at what's on the inside. Okay, Sheima? Go ahead.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hey neighbors from 2 to 92, young and old, it's been fun podcasting with you today. We hope you find some positive actions out in the world this week. Bye.
And remember, parents and neighbors and students, you're not alone. And when you're struggling, like Stephanie's story, you're not alone. People are here. We are one, and we're one community. Everyone is unique. Everyone is important and wonderfully made. All right, we're going to get going now. Thank you all for joining us for today's Positive Podcast, When Freedom Sings Diversity. We'll close now with Miss Stephanie's book. And following that, for Martin Luther King Day, we'll hear Dr. King read or speak, I Have a Dream. Thanks for sharing your dream, Stephanie. That's
Thank
awesome.
you guys.
Thank you.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. This nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. And every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. Not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.